Recording in progress. Okay.
All right, awesome. So we're going to talk about probably the busiest travel day of the holiday season, December 26th. What
Yeah.
can folks expect if they're going to be hitting the road that day?
Yeah. Hang on one second. Let me make sure I have this on here. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing that's not on the thing. Okay. So yeah, the 26th is going to be very, very busy. The day after Christmas, it's always a busy travel day, especially when we're talking about road travel. People will be making their returns home. The thing about this travel period is it is a bit longer, right? So we look at this travel period, it's 13 days. And in between those 13 days, sandwiched in with 2 weekends, right? But if we just look at Christmas, the day after is going to be the busiest. So yes, 26 will be busy. It'll be busy pretty much all day as people are returning home. If your travel plans allow you to leave early in the morning or late in the evening, I'd say that's when you'd probably have at least, I'd say a little less traffic, but it's going to be busy out there. So I would say the rule of thumb, or I would say a good tip would be leave before 11 a.m. I would actually probably say leave before 10 a.m. And if your travel plans allow you to leave later in the evening, after 8 p.m. But it's going to be busy for sure. It's definitely, if not the busiest, one of the busiest days during this year-end holiday period.
And just overall, I think
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a record-breaking
yeah,
year, right? So can you talk a little bit about that?
yeah. So it is another record-setting day. I should say another record-setting holiday as we look at this end of the year holiday period. We say it every year. I know that every year it's record setting, but yeah, of the nearly 4 million North Carolinians that are going to be traveling away from home, 90% of them will be doing so with the road trip. So do the math. That's a lot more cars on the road versus this time last year. So it's going to be congested. It's going to be crowded. I would say, if you can avoid locations like around airports and around tourist locations, that's when you're probably going to see your higher volume of traffic, around your big metro areas. That's when you're going to see, a mix of travelers and commuters. So I would say if your travel plans allow you to avoid rush hour, that's when you'll be able to experience a little less traffic, but it's going to be crowded out there. A lot of folks, that's the thing about this holiday period is a lot of folks, parlay this into a really, really long Christmas vacation. So while the 26th is going to be very, very busy, you can anticipate traffic being quite busy, right after the holiday. And then as we head into New Year's Eve, it's going to be busy then as well. But what were you talking about? The record setting. Yeah, record setting.
Yes.
So, yeah, it is another record setting holiday for us. And people are using all modes of transportation to get to their destinations. I mean, we've seen the biggest increase in other modes of transportation. We're talking about rail. We're talking about buses, cruises. That's when we see the highest increase, I would say, as far as other modes of transportation. But in just about every area, we're up. Whether it comes to
I'll,
flying to your destination or driving to your destination, we're up.
I'll ask you this.
Yeah.
Is there a particular reason why it is always record-breaking every year? Do we
I,
know? Is it just like our population is just getting bigger or?
I mean, to be quite honest with you, I would say when we say record breaking every year, from our national office, so from a national numbers perspective, every single year for them hasn't been record breaking. Like if we go back and look at like years right after the pandemic, there's some years where it was like this isn't as good as 2021, but this is better than 20. So but from a local standpoint, as far as North Carolinians are concerned, it's record breaking, and it has been that way every year except for the pandemic, right? And I do think you bring up an interesting point. I do think it has to do with population. It has to do with the fact that the people are moving to the Carolinas, and they're moving there in record numbers. They're moving to the Carolinas in record numbers every day. So I think we're going to continue to see these numbers go up every year. People are really excited about traveling too. Let's not ignore that. Right after the pandemic ended, we saw people just rushing to make these bucket list trips happen sooner than later. People didn't want to wait around into the next pandemic or whatever it might happen and derail their bucket list plan. So we've seen people just kind of rushing to get these big trips in, and we've seen that over the last few years. It's kind of been a steady, and then they've been using other modes of transportation. People have said, "Well, I don't want to drive to my destination. Why don't I take a train? I've got Wi-Fi. I don't have to worry about traffic." So we've seen those other modes of transportation increase quite a bit. Um, Road trips still reign supreme. So I think we're going to continue to see that, and that's not going to make this holiday any different. The majority of people are going to be, traveling by vehicle to their destination. But yeah, I do think a big reason for that is in the Carolinas, we're just seeing our population go
Population
up every
just
year.
grow. Let's talk about gas prices. Folks are
Yeah.
going to see some relief at the pump. So
Yeah,
explain more
so I
about
would
that.
say, that's great, because if you look at the release, it's going to cost you more to do just about everything. As far as maybe the only savings I really see is international airfare. That's the only thing that's really gone down quite a bit. And we're down about 13% as far as airfare for international is concerned, but it costs more to do everything this year. The place where you will see the savings, though, is at the pump. An early Christmas gift, if you will. As we head into 2026, you're going to be saving anywhere from 15 to 20 cents per gallon versus this time last year when you're filling up in the Carolinas. So that's good news. And then if you're traveling, all through the country, depending on where you're going, you're going to see lower gas prices versus this time last year as well. So I guess I guess that's a silver lining, if you will. It's going to cost you more to do just about everything else except for filling up this holiday season.
All right. Any other last minute things that you would like to say that you haven't said yet?
I just wanted to say this. I would like to say, please make sure that you're slowing down and moving over for emergency personnel, which includes our tow truck operators. Let's make sure that they make it home to their families as safe as possible by slowing down and moving over because it's the law, and you just might be saving a life.
All right. Thank you very much.